time again for another installment of The Basics, and on today's show, in keeping with the theme of Magic the Gathering, I want to talk more about the color black and some card multiples that you want to add to your black deck if and when possible. Now, I've talked about different quads in previous episodes, but I want to talk about certain cards from certain colors that you can use as 2s, 3s, or 4s in your deck. So let's get started, shall we? Now, on previous episodes, I've shown you doubles, triples, and quads that are already in constructed decks that I have made up. But now I'm going to start showing you doubles, triples, and quads that I don't have in a deck at the moment but would be perfect for any constructed deck. So let's get started. And, of course, we're doing black on this episode. I'm going to start with a very simple card, Kaldrörin Dead. It only costs 1 mana to bring out. It's a 3/1 creature, but when Kaldrörin Dead comes into play, sacrifice a creature. So if you have a creature that's getting its ass kicked, or if you have a 1/1 sitting there, you can get rid of it. It also regenerates if you pay another mana. This is very helpful when you're starting out in a game, and it's very quick to bring out in your first few turns. Necrosevent, it does cost 6 to bring out. It's a 5/5 creature though, but also by using 5 of the mana, sacrifice a creature, put Necrosevent into play, use this ability only during your upkeep and only if Necrosevent is in your graveyard. So you can do a couple things with that, or you can pay the full cost of the mana and bring it out as a 5/5 creature, providing you have enough land on the table at the point you bring it out. Cruel Revival, it's an instant, costs 5 to bring out, but destroy target non-zombie creature. It can't be regenerated. Return up to 1 target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, if you're putting together a zombie or a death type deck in black, this is what you'd put in there first and foremost. Volcano Imp costs 4 to bring out. It's a creature. It has flying though. There are not many black creatures that have flying. If you have a combination red-black deck, if you use 2 of your red mana, Volcano Imp gains first strike until end of turn. That can be very useful in a dual-color deck. Swarm of Rats only costs 2 to bring out. Swarm of Rats power is equal to the number of rats you control. So it's a star/1 to start off with, but that means, like I have here, if you have 3 of them, that's 3/1. If you have 4, that's 4/1. That's not bad of an attack that at a low cost to bring out. And finally, one of my favorites, and I actually have had this one in a deck before, but I've taken it back out again. This is an enchant creature, Tackle Maggot. It costs 4 to bring out, has a bit of a lore here. During target creature's controller's upkeep, put a -0, -1 counter on that creature. If the creature is put into the graveyard, its controller chooses a new target creature for Tackle Maggot. If there are no legal targets, Tackle Maggot becomes an enchantment. During his or her upkeep, Tackle Maggot deals 1 damage to the controller of the last creature Tackle Maggot enchanted. Control of Tackle Maggot does not change when its target changes or when it becomes an enchantment. That can deal some serious damage, but the only problem with it, because it has counters, you're going to need some of those. Now, you've heard me say on other episodes that I'm not a big fan of counter cards, and I usually avoid them. This one, however, I like. It's very useful, especially if you're putting together an annoying black deck that's going to really piss off your opponent. So it's kind of win-win. Experiment with some of these. See what happens. Now, black is my second favorite color in Magic behind red, but there are so many good cards that kept coming out for black over all of the expansions and even to some of the newer sets where it's conceivable that someone that is serious about black as a color in this game would have multiple black decks made up, providing they have a good stock of cards to play with. It would only make sense to rotate between 2 or 3 really powerful black decks. That's all for today. Have a great day, everybody.